What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakney, aka Brandon Lee TV, bringing you a special broadcast. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I felt like this was necessary this week. I've been getting so many questions and concerns about the new rules and alignments, and just the announcements coming from the NCHSAA board recently in the last couple weeks. So we just want to take time to address it. And I have a special guest with me, Jay Spivey, longtime Winston-Salem journalist around here, killing the sports writing game. Jay, I know you've been doing this a while, and you wrote a lot of stories, built a big reputation around here. You're very respected out here.
Oh, right. Yes. I've been around this business for about 29 years, Brandon, and I've lived here my entire life. So it's just part of what I know.
Oh, yes, sir. Hey, most definitely. And I appreciate you taking time to hop on, man. I know you're a wealth of knowledge, very familiar with the board and the high school sports scene here. So I just wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit and just kind of I guess explain to the people a bit and puts to bed some of these rumors and maybe people that just don't really get the gist of everything in the loop.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to help you. Just fire away. I'm happy to tell you anything you need to know.
Yes, sir, most definitely. So, just starting off, peeling back a little bit. I think the board and Commissioner Q have been very transparent with everybody, keeping people in the loop and moving forward. As far as I know, you've been very vocal on Facebook. As far as how everything's been handled, how everything is progressing, and now that we're seeing high school sports kick off, actually, what are your thoughts on things and how everything's been handled?
Well, first, as you well know, I mean, it's been an ongoing discussion since basically March, I guess. When spring sports halted after just a couple of weeks. And then during the summer, there was a question as to whether fall sports would start or any sports would start
Right.
once school started. Now that they've kind of started, they kind of started it a little differently than they normally would have. And they started with what they considered, I guess, I don't know, non-contact or whatever sports,
Right.
volleyball and boys and girls cross country. And that they have started within the last couple of weeks, and they're into their seasons now, but they still have to follow the COVID protocols that, like you said, Q Tucker and the board at the NCHSAA have given to them.
Right. And I know recently they've brought out the masks, basketball, volleyball, a lot of these sports that are still going are now required to play in masks. And there are people, on Twitter, on social media, what if the kid has asthma? What if the kid has this? How do you feel that they're addressing this? And, this is something that we've never seen, man. It's unprecedented times.
This is truly unprecedented. I spoke right now. I'm freelancing for the Clemens Courier, since, as you well know, I'm not with the Journal anymore.
Right.
And I spoke with the swim coach at West Forsyth earlier last week, and she said how difficult it is to do this, but they just have to, and just some of the protocols that the swim teams have, and they have to mask right before they get on the starting block. They have to have bags. They have to have their own individual bags. They have to swim underneath the ropes once the meet is over. They have to socially distance before and after the meets are over. It's just a long list, and I'm sure cross country is dealing with the same issue. And like you said, with basketball practice just started yesterday, and we'll start at the beginning of the season. Will actually start at the beginning of January, supposedly, and then they had to go through a long list of protocols too, like you said, with wearing masks. Even during the games, they have to wear masks, which is going to be an issue in itself.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested to see it. I've gotten a little peek of it, and a lot of people aren't happy about it. What do you think parents should know about this, making this adjustment and handling this?
Well, I know that a lot of parents and a lot of the kids themselves really wanting to play this year, and that's kind of the price of playing, Brandon. It's just if you want to play, you kind of go with what the protocols that are given to you by not only by the NCHSAA but by the governor.
Facts, and we got some new protocols even today with the new curfew and downsizing, places closing at 10. Alcohol being limited. So we're regressing, and people have to take this thing seriously. I know with this new announcement too, there were some realignments, and a big thing I feel like football was really, really impacted. Maybe more so than some other sports with still playing that endowment game, but teams are losing a game, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Our program's going to lose money. What does this mean for programs in the city, rural counties that depend on that, the Reedsvilles, the Mount Airies, and places like that?
Well, to be honest with you, I was shocked. Now, before I even started working at the Journal, I'm the son of a coach. I'm the son of an athletic director who now retired from Reynolds High School about 8 years ago. So I kind of knew the ins and outs of high school sports, kind of like the back of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And, when they started this years ago with the endowment game and when they had the split championships, that was, to me, first of all, you got a lot of teams involved, but it's a lot of money.
Right.
And now they've decided to kind of get rid of that, which shocked me, especially when, they're kind of crying that they're losing money. That just kind of goes against what normally you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a lot of money they're going to lose with the loss of endowment game and the split championships. That's a lot of money, especially in football.
Yeah. And as far as like the elimination of subdivisions, now you go from 8 state championships to 4 state championships. What are we looking like on that outlook?
And I'll speak just specifically about mainly the 4A division, especially in Forsyth County.
Mm-hmm.
East Forsyth, as you well know, has won the state football championship the last 2 years in 4A. But to be honest with you, no offense toward East or West Forsyth and Reagan, who are all who were all 4A and all in that, but West Forsyth and Reagan were in 4AA. East Forsyth, Glenn, and Reynolds will have to transfer is to 1 4A division, which means you're going to compete with Raleigh and Charlotte schools.
Right.
And it's just difficult. We've seen over and over and over the years, no matter what the sport, it's hard for Forsyth County and Guilford County schools to compete with Mecklenburg County area schools and Wake County area schools. Not to say they can't win, but it's certainly a lot more difficult than it is now.
Oh, I know you're absolutely right, and I love that you touched on that, especially with the East Forsyth football thing. Now you think back to the years when they were going up against Mallard Creek every year, 2 very talented teams. Are there any positives in your opinion, looking at this, going back to the old way, slimming down on the championship games?
It's funny you mentioned Mallard Creek. I was at that game when East Forsyth lost to Mallard Creek, and they were leading up to right to the end of the game. And that was probably the best chance Forsyth County will ever have, really, against a large 4A school from Charlotte. And East Forsyth was really good that year.
Oh, they were stacked.
They were really, really, really good that year. And I know that Coach Willard, I don't want to speak for him, but I know that's been a kind of contentious moment for him for these last 5 years. And I know that's upsetting. And I know he's won 2 championships since then, but that's always kind of stick in his craw, and probably the players at East Forsyth as well.
Right. And it's just such a weird time because last year, sports gets called, we have co-champions. Now they're slimming down, and it's going to be 4 championships. It's going to mean a lot. As far as the conference realignment, I've noticed, Mount Tabor's going back to 4A, North Davidson moving up to 3A. What are your opinion on some of these realignments? Did any of them catch your eye? And what goes into this? Are schools here growing? Are they shrinking? What is this process?
Well, I mean, they got different criteria this year normally than they would normally have. And, they normally go through this every 4 years. And generally by now, they will have already gone through the process pretty extensively before now. But because of COVID, they haven't been able to do it. And so obviously they'll start they were going to do this next fall anyway. With the 21 through 25 realignment. And so they were going to do this anyway. They're just a little bit behind schedule from what they normally would be. But the thing that kind of stuck out to me was that, Mount Tabor and Parkland are going back to 4A.
Right.
We could create a really good Central Piedmont 4A, assuming they join the Central Piedmont 4A. And a lot of rivalries with, the 5 other 4A schools in Forsyth County, as well as Davie County as well. So it should be an 18 conference, which, you got rivalries. The scheduling should be very easy. You don't have to schedule as many non-conference games. It should be very easy. And then, like you said, North Davidson and Oak Grove are going from, and Ledford too, are going from 2A to 3A, which shows you that area of Davidson County is growing a lot. And, I hate to say this, but, I've grown up here my entire life in Winston-Salem, and Carver used to be a large school, and it's going to be a 1A school. 1A school.
Which is nuts.
It's unbelievable.
And I tell you what, man, I went to North Forsyth my freshman year in, I believe it was 2008. they were a 4A school. You know, by the time I was a junior, we were 3A, and now you look and they're 2A.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how that happens. And I wanted to get, before we let you go, did you see about them getting that money for the renovations? I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I saw they're going to get about $17 million. And, to be honest with you, it's long overdue for not just North Forsyth, but a lot of the older schools of Forsyth County. It's kind of, I don't know what the reason is, but I don't know if the school board kind of let it slip through the cracks or whatever, or just they didn't have some of the people who could kind of stick up for them that some of the other schools do. Mm-hmm. But it's long overdue for schools like North Forsyth, and I'm happy for them. They need to be renovated.
Definitely, man. Oh, go ahead.
That helps entice some of the kids. Helps entice some of the kids that want to come there because everything's open enrollment now.
Man, no kidding. I mean, you got kids going everywhere, and nobody wants the old stuff. They see the new equipment, they see the new stuff, new gear, and they're hopping on. Jay, I definitely appreciate you joining us this evening, man. Let them know where to find you at on social media for all the latest, so they can follow your journey this year and next year.
You can find me on Facebook, and you can find me on Twitter at JAYSPIVEY_WSJ, and you can find me anywhere. And Brandon, I'm happy to do this and happy to do this anytime you like.
Oh, yes, sir. We definitely will have to have you on again, Jay. Much respect to you, and be safe out here. Stay on the grind, my man.
Thank you, Brandon. Take care.
Yes, sir.